So, where do you want to be in your life? Are you presently at the place where you want it to be? If not, what is stopping you from getting there? Is the next step too hard to reach, or is it the fear of leaving your comfort zone? It could be both reasons, or it could be another one, totally different. Today, I'm going to address the reason associated with the fear of leaving your comfort zone. Because fear has taken place, has settled in our lives, and we often forget the impact it can have on our achievements and on our progression. If you are religious, you probably have a lot of advices from your holy scriptures or from your leaders. I also have a true and very inspiring story to illustrate the way that fear impacts on our lives, and also how we can deal with our fears. This is a true story. It happened several years ago, and it made the news headlines in several countries for several weeks. It was the story of a young woman who was kept in captivity, and she stayed there because she reported to the media, to the police, because she was paralyzed with fear. Her captor used to inject fear, used to terrorize her regularly, so she couldn't take any action. She was so full of fear, she couldn't think. And one day he came and said to her, "I'm going to kill you." Now she believed that. Just imagine that. Just imagine yourself, somebody is telling you, "I'm going to kill you." What would you do? Well, after being paralyzed with fear for all those years, believe it or not, she decided that she did not want to die. She didn't feel that she was ready for dying. She had the fear of dying, right? So she reported that she had to come up with a plan to escape. And so she did. And she managed to escape. And what is amazing with that story is the time she had to come up with the plan and to put her plan into action. She did it very quickly, according to what she reported. So in that story, it is very intriguing, and that's why it is inspiring for me, because it shows how fear can paralyze you, but also fear can prompt you to take action, life-changing action. This story had a very happy ending, because I heard that she received letters from the leaders of her country. At the time, it was President Mitterrand from France, and also his wife wrote to her, because she had taken such a courageous step to run away from somebody who was nasty. And also, at the end, she rebuilt her life. She had a successful and happy life. So, although it was terrible to start with, but the story had a happy ending. So, how can fear impact on our lives on so different manners? One way we can be paralyzed with fear. The other way, we can use fear to accomplish something amazing, very courageous. So this has prompted me to think and to really ask myself questions. You can do the same, ponder it. You probably know the stories of people paralyzed with fear, but also used it to accomplish something. But what I noticed in that, I've taken out of that story, is the fact that she came up with a plan. She didn't just say, "Okay, I'm going to stay there, and miraculously I'm going to manage to escape, and I'm going to overcome my fear." But she had to come up with a plan. I believe that in our everyday life, when there is fear, we need to come up with a plan. So if you think that fear is what is preventing you from getting to where you want to be in life, first of all, identify your fear. Then come up with a plan. And with that plan, you need to be able to train your fear and to use your fear to help you, as a motivation to help you accomplish great things, to succeed in life, really. So this is what she did. I've been interested in, the topic of fear because I once had some fears in my life, believe it or not. I had the fear of getting off my house. I was frightened of going out of the door to go out, in the open. I had the fear of driving a car. I could drive around my town, the streets in the village, but I couldn't go anywhere further. Talking about a motorway, I couldn't go on the motorway. When I decided I had to go on the motorway, I was driving, both arms would become numb with tingling feelings, and then my hands would become so cold like ice. And I would be driving, holding with one hand and shaking the other one to relax it, and then hold with this, shaking the other one, and do this in turn so I can drive. And my back would become stiff, because I had so much fear. Another fear I had, a belief I had, that if I go away from my village, from my town, I would reach a dead end and I wouldn't know how to come back. I have no idea where that story of dead end came, how this came to my head, but I truly felt, and I wouldn't go any further from my town because I was so frightened of getting into that dead end. I have overcome those fears. And believe it or not, those fears of driving, of going out, stopped me doing a lot of things in my life, but I have overcome those fears. I also had fear of people. I have overcome those as well. So once again, if you feel whichever, your fears are, first of all, start by identifying your fears. You identify it, then you make a plan, because you can't just leave it for just to happen. It will happen by itself. You need to have a plan, okay? A plan to be able to train your fear, to make your fear work for you, for your benefit, for your success, so that you can accomplish things. Do not let your fear become a big, strong, brick wall that's going to stop you progressing. Instead, let your fear become like a hammer that will help you break that wall, one brick at a time, until you drop that wall so that you can make progress in your life. This is what it is all about overcoming that fear, about being in control of your fear. Not the fear being in control of you and on your life, making you feel paralyzed and terrified, but you feeling strong and confident and say, okay, fear, come over here. I'm going to use you to do what I want to do. And this is what it's about. So don't forget to do your homework, identify your fear, make a plan, what you want to do with it, how you want to use it for your benefit, for your success. Put your plan to action. Do it quickly. Don't let it, hold up too much, because it might get stale and it might not work anymore. So do it quickly. Do your plan and put your plan to action so that the fear doesn't turn into something amazing. Actually, I can tell you, it can turn into hope. It can turn into love, into happiness, into confidence that you can achieve what you want to do, and then you can move forward. Okay, so this is your homework. Good luck with it. Next time, I will be talking about training your fear. Because it's easy to say, okay, you go and train your fear. But how do you train your fear exactly? So next time, this is what I'm going to talk about.